APNvideo.com is on the air, and today we're coming to you from the winter home of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Tempe Diablo Stadium, and two storied MSBL franchises go head-to-head here today. It's the Chicago Maxx Cubs taking on the Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies. And I'm Jeff Lowry with APNvideo.com. So glad to have you with us on a sunsplash afternoon, though we're expecting temperatures to drop this afternoon from the high 70s into the low 70s with some higher winds. But nonetheless, right now the sun is shining. You see Otis Henley and Frank Phillips representing the team on the right. There is Lou Gordon, a longtime GM and manager of the Chicago North Cubs, which is now the Chicago Maxx Cubs, which is sponsored by that man on the right, number 20, Alden Stiefel. He is the starting pitcher here today for the Chicago Maxx Cubs. Jimmy Kuhn is also part of the Brain Trust, and Reed Stiefel, Antone Henley down there with the rest of the guys. When we come back, the play-by-play of the 60 and over Central Championship. All right, welcome back to Tempe Diablo Stadium, the home of the 60 and over Central Championship game. Much awaited game between Chicago and Dallas-Fort Worth. Dallas-Fort Worth, five-time champions. As the Chicago Maxx Cubs, led by Alden Stiefel and Jim Kuhn, the Brain Trust, 5-2 by way of record, and they'll be going up against Martin Campbell, hard-throwing right-handed MSBL veteran. And we're ready to go for this championship game. And the first pitch is taken for ball one, and this game is underway. Our game time temperature, 77 degrees. Our start time, 1:17 on this November 7th, 2020. The next pitch is down low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to Rick Wilson, who will start things off. He'll be followed by Mike Teagues and Bruce Grossman. And then if we get any further, John Whitehouse, Tom Berenger, and then Don Munson. Here's a ball hit out in the shallow center field, and, well, that ball's going to drop in for a base hit, and Rick Wilson gets the Cubs off and running here in this championship game.
And now batting number 10, Mike
Teagues. Mike Teagues will stand in, and he'll take a first pitch from Campbell, a called strike, 0-1. Slightly, well, it is overcast day here, and really just a beautiful circumstances to play our national pastime, as this one is hit down the right field line, but that's a foul ball as Bastian tried to make the play down there at first base. The big first baseman for Frank Phillips' team. Pop-up, Butlin will make the play, and there is one down here in the top of the first inning. So a routine play for Butlin. Bastian, Butlin, Olmo, and Neary, first, second, shortstop, and third. Now the hard-hitting Bruce Grossman. Grossman can hit to all fields and has been one of the premier hitters for this Chicago team, formerly known as the Chicago North Cubs for many years. And he has been one of their top sluggers, if not their top slugger, over the last 5 years. And he goes opposite field and drives a single into right field, and Chicago has runners at first and second. So Grossman saying hello to the multitude of fans that he usually attracts at each and every ballpark he plays in. And now John Whitehouse. No score, top of the first inning. We're in the 60 and over Central Division National Championship winner-take-all. And John Whitehouse, the cleanup hitter, will dig in with runners at first and second and only one man out in a scoreless tie, top of the first. And he loops one out into center field, and that's going to drop in for a hit. This should score the run as Grossman slides in the second. Instead, it's bases loaded. So 3 singles, and now the batter is Tom Berenger, the center fielder. Normally, but today in this championship game, it looks like he's going to start out in left field. This is a good all-around player and a very, very solid defensive player. Like I said, normally a center fielder, as Don Monson is on deck for Chicago as they try to break through and score the game's first run. No score, top of the first. Chicago, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, defending Cactus League champions in 55 and the 60s. And the 55 team won it back in 2013. Quick throw down to third. Neary had to go to one knee to make sure that ball didn't get through. So Behringer up there with the bases loaded, 1 out. Both teams come in here, 5 wins and 2 losses. And a big pitch coming up right here, and Behringer bounces one to the right side. Butlin bobbles it, but then underhand flips to first. That'll drive in the run. Credit Behringer with an RBI. As Rick Wilson scores from third, and just like that, it is 1-0 Chicago as they break the ice and score first. Now Don Monson coaching at first base, Lou Gordon. You can hear him tell Don Monson to stay hot. That's one of his trademark sayings. And here's a shot out into left field, and Bill Brewer, sprawling catch. He saves 2 runs, and that'll end the inning. A run, 3 hits, 2 left on after a half an inning of play. The Cubs won in Dallas-Fort Worth, and they'll be taking on the manager of this Chicago Maxx Cubs team. Of course, the Maxx is Alden Stifel's team, and there's Frank Phillips, the general manager of the Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies. So we go now to the bottom half of the first inning in this championship game. It'll be Angel Olmo, one of the premier shortstops, probably going back to maybe even the 55s or the 50 division. He is outstanding defensively. Ayala will bat second, and the first baseman, Carmelo Bastian, will be third. Popped up, Alden Stifel, who's got good speed, good legs, and he races into foul territory to take care of the first out. So Olmo is retired, and the batter is Ayala. And that got him. And the center fielder is heading down to first base. So a hit batsman brings up first baseman Carmelo Bastian. Runner goes. That's a strike called. And that will be an easy stolen base, and it's going to be an error on the play. First error of the ball game, and Ayala moves to third. So he's hit by a pitch, steals second, and moves to third on the error. And now Bastian, and he will take just upstairs, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the bottom of the first inning of this 60 and over Central Championship. Winner take all for the national title. Fastball just off the outside corner. And you can tell with Alden Stifel, when he is going good, he is working literally every, you call it the strike zone, every part of the strike zone, whether the quadrant or break it up into the 9 spaces. Here's a shot out into left center field, and this game is tied at 1 apiece. So Bastian with an RBI single, a clean line drive single, the first hit of the game for the Phillies. And the next batter up is going to be a guy that played single-A baseball back in the day from Puerto Rico for the San Francisco Giants, not as a pitcher but as a hitter. And we may see him in case Martin Campbell, the starting pitcher for the Phillies, can't go the distance. I would imagine we will see Richie Figueroa, who is at the plate. Runner at first, 1 out. Good pitch by Alden Stifel. And here's a ball slapped down to Crace at third. He's up with it. He goes second 1. Yuri to Cruz. That's an inning double play. 5-4-3 around the horn, and at the end of 1 inning of play, Chicago won, and Dallas-Fort Worth likewise. This is APN Video and our coverage of the 33rd Annual MSBL World Series as Neary drops the pop-up off the bat of Neil Cooper. And so Chicago, for the second inning in a row, has the leadoff hitter aboard for Kurt Brusque. And Brusque hits one to second. The only play with the runner going will be at first base. Nice job by Butlin, who is actually beginning to cover the bag. There's Jimmy Kuhn, one of the great pitchers in Chicago history. So that'll go 4-3, and that'll move Neil Cooper up to second base. And here's Tom Ury, the second baseman for the Cubs. And the first pitch is in there, strike one, with Mike Schmadebeck on deck, and then Dan Crace. Top of the second inning, a 1-1 tie. Chicago has the go-ahead run at second, and here's a ball hit up the middle, base hit. Let's see if the runner is going to try to score here. The throw comes in, and it will be cut off. Nice job there by the first baseman, Carmelo. That is hit number 4 for Chicago. And runners are at first and third for Mike Schmadebeck. He takes the first offering just under the knees, ball one. Second inning of work for Martin Campbell. So the Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies are on the air. Here's a pickoff move at first base, and they got him. And so did we. And that's big for us. What a move by Martin Campbell. So that is the second out of the inning, and Schmadebeck takes a strike. Mike and Dan at the bottom of the order. That must tell you what the top of the order is like if those two guys are hitting down there. And here is Butlin with his third attempt of the game and taking care of business. We go to the bottom half of inning number 2. Cubs-Phillies in this 60-and-over championship game on a blustery day from Tempe Diablo. Here's a swing and a ground ball by Jeff Catfish Hunter that finds center field and a leadoff single. That is hit number 2 for the Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies. So the runner at first base. And here is Bob, the life of Riley, digging in from the right side against Alden Stiefel in his second inning of work. And this one bounces up there, and that one's going to go all the way to the backstop. Well, that was a tough one. The call, Sam DiTallo, I don't know if that's a pass ball or a wild pitch, but Dallas-Fort Worth now has the go-ahead run in scoring position. The Chicago Maxx Cubs, Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies. Here's a bouncing ball down to third. Crace looks back the runner, holds it, and then throws perfectly on the first, and the runner still makes it to third. Jeff Hunter, surprisingly, very quick. Of course, I say that about anybody who's a little quick out here. This isn't the 18 and over. I mean, we are talking 60 and over. As second baseman Rob Butlin now digs in, swinging at that breaking pitch by Alden Stiefel. You just don't know what you're going to get with Alden. I mean, he's got one of the most array of pitches that you will find in any player in this MSBL World Series. He looks the runner back to third. Nice job. His Cruz at first base. You got Ury at second, Reed, Stiefel at short. Crace is at third base. Whitehouse in left, Cooper in center field. And here's a bouncing ball to the right side, and a good job staying down on that ball. Throw on to first, and that is that. So we got 2 in the books. Tempe Diablo Stadium. And it's a 1-1 tie as we head now to the top of the third inning. Jeff Lowry back here from the ballpark. Third inning of work for Martin Campbell. You're watching the 60 and over Central Division Championship, winner take all. Ball one is the count to Dan Crace, the third baseman. Top of the third inning, 4 hits for the Cubs, 1 run. They've committed an error. Both teams have committed an error in this game. Here's a bunt, third base side, but that ball will roll foul as John Neary makes the play there in foul territory. And this one is hit down the line, and this one is going to be a fair ball. I'll tell you, it looked kind of foul from here, but, well, the umpire says that's a fair ball. That's a single for Dan Crace, who's truly one of the great defensive players you will find anybody over the age of 50. So that's the 5th hit for the Cubs, and we go back to the top of the order, and here's Wilson, who tries to bunt Crace over to second base. If that's any indication, as you look at Jimmy Kuhn, the third base coach, see if we can steal a few signs. I think that's the triple Lindy he's called for. But and Carmelo Bastion having a little fun over there with Dan Crace at first base. That pitch is high, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. We're in the 3rd inning, top of the 3rd inning. Chicago, Dallas, Fort Worth. Here's a smash past Olmo, the shortstop, and that is hit number 6 off Campbell. Runners are at first and second, nobody out. Chicago has had the leadoff hitter aboard in each of the first 3 innings of the game, and now Tiegsy squares the bunt and takes ball 1. 1-1 tie. We're in the top of the 3rd inning in this 60-and-over championship game. Central Division National Championship. He squares the bunt, he lays it down, and they're going to try to go to third, and they get the lead runner on a fine play by Martin Campbell. Outstanding job with John Neary on the putout. Runners are still at first and second. That'll be a fielder's choice, 1-5. And now Bruce Grossman, who had a clean line drive single to right field his first time up. A 1-1 tie, and the first pitch is in there for a strike. And he had a healthy swing at that one, 0-2. John Whitehouse on deck, and that one nearly getting away. An outstanding job there. I believe this is Mark Hensley. We were not given the defensive alignment, but I'm assuming this is Hensley behind the plate for Dallas Fort Worth. And we don't have a telephone down to the dugout to verify it. Grossman with a blooper back at first, and he'll drop safely foul. Couple of strikes on the third place hitter. 1 out in first and second. A 1-1 tie. And he swings and hit that one right into your living room. That line shot right back to the screen. Another 0-2 pitch coming up to Grossman. And he chops one into left field, a base hit. The runners will have to stay at first, second, and third, but Grossman has his second hit. 7 hits in 2 1/3 innings for this Chicago-based team, and the bases are loaded for John Whitehouse. Frank Phillips, he has won 5 championships, several of them on APN, by the way, for the Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies. Strike 1 called to Whitehouse. Tom Berenger on deck, bases loaded, 1 out. Winner take all, 60-and-over Central Division Championship. Way inside. Swung on, fly ball left field. This could be trouble. It's a bad sun, and Brewer has to play it on a hop. He's going to throw home, and the runners are going to be in. 2-run single for John Whitehouse. And the Cubs have their largest lead of the game of 2. It's now 3-1 from Tempe Diablo Stadium. 2-run single for John Whitehouse, one of the good guys on the team. And now another good guy, Tom Berenger, who had an RBI when he grounded out to second base in the first. So Chicago Maxx Cubs, formerly the Chicago North Cubs, now lead it by a score of 3-1. And giving Alden Stiefel, their starting pitcher, a little breathing room. I noticed that Alden did not put himself into the starting lineup for this game. And still only 1 man out. So John Whitehouse now 2 for 2 with that 2-run single. And he grounds one to the right side. Butlin again. 2 down. And now runners are at second and third for Chicago Maxx. Don Munson will bat second and third, 2 down, here in the top half of inning number 3. First pitch. Catches the inside corner, 0-1. Neil Cooper is on deck for Chicago. Both teams come in 5 wins, 2 losses. And playing for a national championship, winner take all. That's outside, low and away. And the count is 1-1 strike on Don Munson. No relation to Thurman Munson. Don spells his last name with an O, and Thurman Munson was M-U-N-S-O-N. 1-2 pitch. A swing and a foul tip into the catcher's mitt for strike 3, and the side is retired. But Chicago takes the lead. They lead at 3-1. This is APNvideo.com and the MSBL World Series. Lou Gordon, longtime manager, general manager of the Chicago North Cubs, and now gets paid big time for his expertise and his knowledge of the game. And Alden Stiefel delivers the first pitch outside, ball 1 to former MSBL World Series MVP Bobby Graham. 2 balls and no strikes to Bobby. He's had some great tournaments. Hensley and then Antone Henley will follow. Stiefel in his 3rd inning of work, and he delivers a strike, and it's 2-1. Bottom half of the 3rd inning. Winner-take-all championship game. Bouncing ball that takes the convenient Sunday hop for Reed Stiefel. And I'll tell you what, you got 2 guys out here that play one hell of shortstop. You got Reed Stiefel and Angel Olmo, no question about it. Here's Mark Hensley. That may not be Mark doing the catching, because we've got, and the reason I'm in doubt is because there are 2 17, so Donnie Knoll is probably the catcher then. That's a strike. Good pitch by Stiefel. Well, through the first 3 innings, I've noticed that Alden has really lived on that outside corner. He's trying to do the Glavin thing, or the Greg Maddux thing, trying to get that outside corner on the right-handed hitters. There's Antone Henley. He is on deck with 1 out. Nobody on here. Bottom half of the 3rd inning, the Cubs lead the Phillies 3-1 in this championship game. And here's a ball slapped to Reed Stiefel. He's got it. Another nice convenient hop, and throws on the Cruz for the out. Cruz is another one. I think he is a tremendous defensive first baseman for the Cubs. So a pair of 6-3 ground outs, and here is Antone Henley batting for the first time, and Antone is in his 4th week of play. And by the way, our good friend Pete Cesario, one of my all-time favorite players in the MSBL, that's a called strike. And no, he didn't give me $20 to say that. Pete is trying to win his 3rd national title as Antone Henley takes a strike, and it's 0-2. Needed a 5-iron to hit that thing, and this one's grounded down to first base. Cruz has got it. He'll take it to the bag. But Pete Cesario trying to win his 3rd national title if Dallas-Fort Worth prevails. We head now to the top of the 4th inning. Jeff Lowry with you. APNvideo.com is our website. Neil Cooper, Kurt Brooks, and Tom Urey will be the first 3. Bouncing ball, and Butlin with his 5th attempt already. 1 down. Kurt is grounded to second base. His only time up. Butlin getting the job done. Olmo, 2 down. And now Tom Urey. Six attempts already for Rob Butlin at second base. Urey takes a strike. He had a base hit but was picked off by Martin Campbell, who's still out there in his fourth inning of work as a starting pitcher for Dallas-Fort Worth. And here's a high fly ball into left field, and that ball will be caught. A basket catch to retire the side. 3 up and 3 down, 5 in a row set down by Martin Campbell. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning from Tempe Diablo Stadium. It is a 3-1 lead for Chicago North. Our Chicago Maxx. I'm going to get in trouble with Alden Stifle if I keep saying that. Sorry about that. Angel Olmo, the leadoff hitter for Frank Phillips' team. 5-time champions, Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies. Olmo, Ayala, and Bastian. High fly ball way back into left field. Could be trouble. It's a Sunfield. Well, the sunglasses, and not to be too critical of the Chicago Maxx Cubs left fielder, but they don't work if they're on your bill, if they're on top of your hat. So that'll go for a base hit for Angel Olmo. Let's see if he's going to be running here, as Enrique Ayala, who scored the only run for Dallas-Fort Worth back in the first inning. He was hit by a pitch, stole second, moved to third on a throwing error, and then scored on a base hit by Carmelo, who is waiting on deck. 3-1 Chicago. They lead it. They're in the field here in the bottom of the fourth inning. A ball and a strike to Ayala. Now time is called, and Reed wants to talk things over with Italo, the catcher. Gary Cruz had a complete game in the semifinals to push the Cubs into this championship game, 60 and over, Central Division. And we know that Dallas-Fort Worth, in the event that Martin Campbell doesn't go the distance, has Figueroa and Hunter. Here's a ground ball shortstop. Stifle bobbles, but is able to get the lead runner, and there's one down. Fielder's choice erases Olmo at second, and now Bastian, who had an RBI single back in the first inning. Yeah, it's interesting. We could possibly have a Hunter and a Figueroa, which would make up part of that 1976-77 Yankees rotation when they went to the World Series. Remember Ed Figueroa and Jim Catfish Hunter. Here's a high pop-up, shallow right field. This is a long run. That ball's going to drop in, and now they're going to get the fielder's choice as Stifle gets the put out at second base, and now we got to stop and play. He called a balk on Alden Stifle, and he can't believe it. Well, there's a lot of confusion going on right now. If that's the case, then Carmelo is going to lose a base hit. He'll have to come back to the plate, and the runner will be at second base. Reed Stifle, who's kind of almost a third coach on this team for Chicago Maxx, MXX, or MAXX is actually the sponsor. And here's a ground ball. He got a base hit anyway. He might get an RBI out of it. Here comes a strong throw home, and it's cut off. Stifle throws to third, not in time. So the runners will be at first and third. 4 hits now in total for Dallas-Fort Worth, and Richie Figueroa, who was, I think, in terms of his MSBL, as he swings and misses, nothing in one. In terms of Richie's reputation as an outstanding MSBL pitcher, I thought he did, and I did a little research before the game and found out he played single-A ball for San Francisco way back in the day, and he was a position player. 1 ball and 1 strike. Stifle trying to stop this Phillies team from cutting into their 3-1 bottom of the fourth lead. This one skips away from the catcher. And the run is going to score, and it's a one-run affair, and that moves the first baseman Carmelo Bastian to second base, and it's 3-2 as the Cubs cling to a one-run lead, and you got Richie Figueroa up there, and the changeup is grounded past the third baseman, and Stiefel will just tuck that one into his hip pocket. The runner stays at second. Figueroa will be credited with the 5th hit of the day for the Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies, and Crace, hopefully he didn't break a finger or a thumb there. And now you got the always tough Jeff Catfish Hunter, who had a base hit back in the second and was left stranded. He grounds one past Cruz and in the right field, a base hit. And the ball gets away from the right fielder. That's going to allow the run to score, and runners will be at second and third. It'll be a single, an error on the right fielder. It will be an RBI, and we are tied here in the bottom of the 4th inning at 3 runs apiece. Now Bob Riley, second and third. Still only 1 out here in the bottom half of inning number 4. Riley grounded out 5-3, his first and only time up. 2 strikes on him. 3-3 tie. 1 out. We thought maybe Bob deserved to have his name in lights out there. And here's a high chopper, and then to center field, a base hit. Hunter had to hold up there. Cooper gets it back in, but not before an RBI hit by Riley. A 3-run bottom half of the 4th inning for the Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies, who now lead at 4-3, their first lead of the contest. So we've had 1 tie and 1 lead change. Runners are at first and third. 7 hits now for Dallas-Fort Worth, and the bunt is foul. As Robert Butlin stands in, who already has 6 attempts defensively, 5 assists and 1 putout, and he tried to bunt his way aboard there. And again, runners are at first and third with 1 out. He should be swinging away here, and he does, and he goes down on strikes. So Butlin goes down. That is the first strikeout for Alden, who has walked 1. He has struck out 1 and now sets his sights on Jose Villalba, who grounded out. I think it was a first pitch ground out. I didn't even mention his name. Strike 1 called. Good pitch by Alden Stiefel. Again, I mean, if he is painting that outside corner, he is going to be tough on these right-handed hitters. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. 3 runs have come across. And you could see as Villalba fouls that one back that he respects that outside part of the plate. And he pounds one down to first base. Cruz takes it to the bag. Side retired, but the Phillies get their first lead of the game. They get 3 runs. They leave 2. And at the end of 4 innings of play, it's the Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies 4 and the Maxx Cubs 3. You're watching the 60 and over Central Division Championship, winner take all. It's the 33rd annual Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. Heading now to the top of the 5th inning, Maxx Cubs coming up. And now for the first time in this 60 and over championship game, they trail. Mike Schmadebeck will start things off, and he'll hit a little tapper down to Neary. He'll throw across the infield, and there's 1 down. That'll bring up Dan Crace. So John Neary making the play. Crace a base hit back in the 3rd inning, and he'll take the first offering from Martin Campbell. A called strike, 0-1. 4-3 Phillies. Cubs bat here in the top of the 5th inning. Martin in his 5th inning of work, the starting pitcher for Frank Phillips and the 5-time champion Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies. One ball, 1 strike on the third baseman, who hammers it out into center field. Well, that is hit number 9 for the Cubs. And Crace is 2 for 2. And now Bob Corvus batting for the first time, added to the bottom of the order. Mr. Everything, Bob Corvus. He got that tag from Lou Gordon because he can play just about every position, and he hammers one up the middle in the center field, and the first two have reached. So Bob Corvus is aboard with a hard-hit single, and that is all for Martin Campbell. So Martin Campbell will give way to Richie Figueroa. After the first batter grounds out the third, and Mike Schmadebeck, Crace and Corvus both get base hits. And we go back to the top of the Chicago Maxx Cubs lineup, the 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored, Rick Wilson. 1 out, and the first pitch is in for a called strike. The Cubs have stranded 4 in this game. They have pounded out 10 hits, but the Phillies lead it 4-3. They have 7 hits, and they have stranded 3. That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on the leadoff hitter, Rick Wilson, with Mike Teagsy on deck. 76 degrees is our current temperature. And that one is high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Richie Figueroa, complete game, 3-hit game back in 2013 at Scottsdale Stadium to give Dallas Fort Worth, I think, was one of their 5 championships. That's low, ball 4. And so Figueroa has just walked the first batter that he faces since coming in relief for Martin Campbell, who faced 2 here in the 5th. Goes 4 1/3, has given up 3 runs. And the next batter, as Mike Teague stands in, 0 for 2. Bases loaded with 1 out. We're in the top of the 5th inning. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Right now, Figueroa, who's throwing very hard, but he is having a little control problems. That's going to be a borderline strike call by the home plate umpire, 2-1. Sometimes when you feel like you've got that great velocity, sometimes it's a little hard to control it, and that time he comes in with a sneaky fast fastball in the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners are at first and second. 1 out. And here's a ball slapped to the right side. Butland tagged the runner and the throw to first, and that is a double play. And now the Cubs are claiming that, especially Rick Wilson, that was not even close. And Butland with his 7th play already, and Lou Gordon's having a few words with the umpire out at second base. We were kind of hoping that maybe he'd get in his face a little bit, but that was not the case. And we go to the bottom of the 5th inning with the Phillies batting with Bobby Graham at the plate against Alden Stiefel in his 6th inning of work. It's the Phillies 4 and the Cubs 3. This is the MSBL World Series 33rd annual event. A ball and a strike. It'll be Graham, and then I believe Neary's batting next, and then Antone Henley. 2 balls and 1 strike. Former World Series most valuable player Bobby Graham. He's been one of the mainstays for not only this Dallas Fort Worth team, and now apparently he got hit by a pitch. The second time a batter has been hit by a pitch in this game. Next up is Mark Hensley. Hensley batting for the second time. He grounded to shortstop and squares the bunt, and the runner is caught between first and second, and the throwdown will not make it. Safe is Bobby Graham. That'll be a stolen base. He's got the ninja look going with the bandana. That's a strike. Hensley didn't like the call. changeup out of play. A good look at Alden Stiefel. Starting pitcher. He's pitched well. And another chopper to the left side, and this time it's going to draw the first baseman off the bag and safe. Well, Cruz did a nice job corralling it. That'll be an error on the third baseman. And now Antone Henley for the second time. Bounced out to Cruz at first base back in the third inning. We're in the bottom of the fifth. Phillies batting leading at 4-3. He squares the bunt, pops it up. Something that Antone Henley does not have a lot of experience in, and that is bunting. This is a guy who loves to swing away. He bunts it out in front of the plate, but just slightly foul, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. He'll be swinging away here. Stiefel against Antone Henley. The pitch. And a ball that is going to be in no man's land. Here's the second baseman charging and throwing on to first. And really, maybe not a spectacular play, but a great play by Mike Teagues. And that's as good as a bunt. Runners are at second and third. That play goes 4-3, and the batter is going to be Angel Almo, the leadoff hitter. Bottom half of the fifth inning, the Phillies with a 4-3 lead in this winner-take-all championship game. Stiefel winds, kicks, and deals. Strike called on the outside corner. Wow. I'm telling you, if I'm Alden Stiefel, which I'm not, and he has been a premier pitcher in these last couple of years, as this one's bounced up the middle, and a nice play by Teagues. He throws him out at first base. Well, the run will score to give the Phillies a 5-3 lead, give Almo an RBI. Scoring is Bobby Graham, but that makes out number 2, and Carmelo drives one deep to left field. It's over the head of the left fielder. It's going all the way to the wall. 1 run is in. Here comes, Enrique Ayala, and he's got an RBI triple. So Hensley scores from first base. It's a 2-run inning. The Phillies now lead 6-3. That's their biggest lead of the game. And Dan Crace will come on after 5 2/3 innings from Alden Stiefel. Responsible for the runner at third base and the 6 runs he gave up. Foul ball out of play. Now Carmelo Bastian. So Dan Crace in for Alden Stiefel, 5 2/3. All the runs in this inning are unearned. And I'm not sure where that pitch was. 1 ball, 1 strike. And neither did the umpire. I don't want to say anything. I'm not going to criticize, because sometimes these guys ask for game film. I got to be nice to him. Here's a pop-up that's back to the screen. Carmelo has singled both times. He's driven in a run. He has scored a run. As you look at the Chicago Maxx Cubs, all up on the railing just like the Phillies. And that ball hit him. And Crace right now is arguing he wants an appeal that the hitter stepped into that. And now Richie Figueroa, first and third, 2 out, 2 runs in, and a 6-3 lead for the Phillies. And this one is hit right back to the mound. I'm going to address what Dan Crace was all upset about as the inning is over. So we go to the top of the 6th inning. It's the MSBL World Series, and it's 6-3 in favor of the Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies. This is APN. Lou Gordon, longtime general manager, as Bruce Grossman steps in, 2 for 2. Getting back to that hit by pitch as we go to the top of the 6th inning, Phillies leading at 6-3. And the 3-run lead, their largest of the game. And Richie Figueroa's in his 2nd inning of work, and he delivers outside ball 1. The only argument I have with Dan Crace, and I have a lot of respect for the guy, I've enjoyed the short time watching and talking to him. That pitch was way inside. And to be honest, I don't think the hitter had, and remember, we're playing, this is 60 and over. We're not, and I'm in my 50s, so I get it. We're not as quick and got the dexterity that we once had. Some of that has gone at this age group. I just don't think that Bastian had really a chance to even get out of the way. That's ball 4 to Grossman. Leadoff walk. So I don't know. Watch it again. I mean, I'm not arguing. I just felt like the ball was so far inside, it was going to hit him one way or the other, most likely. But we have to see the replay. Bouncing ball off the glove of the pitcher, Figueroa, and they get the out at second base. And Angel Olmo with a tremendous play. And so John Whitehouse, who had a 2-run single, is at first base. He is now 2 for 3. And here's Behringer, who has bounced out to second a couple of times. And here's a rocket in the center field base hit, and no throw to second base. So Behringer with his first hit of the game. Hit number 11 for the Cubs. You got a courtesy runner for Tom Behringer, and now Don Munson, 0 for 2. Jeff Lowry here. We are in the top of the 6th inning, and the first pitch is outside, ball 1. Munson looking for his first hit, takes low, 1-1. Swing, and might have got a piece of that one, and then 2 strikes on the 6th place hitter in the lineup here for Jimmy Kuhn and Alden Stifel's Chicago Maxx Cubs. And he lifts a fly ball out into left center field, and it's way back, and it's going to be in there. 1 run is going to score. Reed Stifel, the courtesy runner, he's being waved around. Here comes a throw to the plate, and they did not get him. He's safe sliding. I'll tell you what, outstanding hustle by Reed Stifel, and it's a 2-run double for Munson. And we got a new ball game at 6-5 as the Cubs draw to within 1. Neil Cooper flies one out of play. So Figueroa has kind of struggled since coming on. No balls and 2 strikes. And Neil looking for his first hit of the ball game. Strike 3 called. Neil Cooper saying, "Are you out of your mind?" And he will head back to the dugout. And for Figueroa, his first strikeout of the ball game. He came in relief of Martin in the 5th inning with 1 out. Kurt is 0 for 2. Kurt Brooks. Like Brooks Shields, as he says. Way inside. I'll tell you what, Richie Figueroa is he's still throwing it. He's got to be, I would imagine, somewhere in the mid-high 70s. I would think. I don't know. What do you think? A little tough to tell up here. Bounce that one up there. What a fine job there by the catcher, Donnie Knoll. Here's a little fly ball to left field, and it's going to drop in front of the left fielder. Here comes the runner around third, and will score without a throw. And so Kurt comes through as Munson scores. RBI hit ties the game up here in the 6th inning. We're tied at 6 apiece. 13 hits for the Cubs, and now Uri. Uri is singled. He is flying to left field. Billy Brewer out there in left field, and he gave it a valiant effort, but to no avail. 2 down here in the 6th inning, and the Cubs have pushed across 3 runs to tie the game up. And a smash off the glove of the third baseman down the line. That'll be a base hit for Tom Uri. He's 2 for 3. 14 hits in total for the Cubs. I'll tell you what, there's Antone Henley now taking over in right field. And they will move Jeff Catfish Hunter in from right field so he can warm up in the bullpen. And Hunter might be their hottest pitcher in this 2020 World Series. In there for a called strike. So Schmadebeck up there 0 for 2. 2 out, 2 on. Tie game, 6 apiece here in the top of the 6th inning. Can you ask for a better championship game so far? It has been kind of back and forth. We've had 2 lead changes, 1 tie. Now I don't consider it a tie before the inning is over. That's how we do it in baseball. Basketball would be different. In the air, right field, out of play. Mike can go to all fields too. He's a versatile player, outstanding defensive player. And he flies one in the right center field. Long run. Nice catch by Ayala. And that'll retire the side. Saves a couple of runs, ends the inning. But 3 big runs for the Cubs. They come right back, and they have tied this game up. 2nd inning of work for Dan Crace in relief of starting pitcher Alden Stiefel, who gets let off the leash of what could have been a loss. He left the game trailing, so Alden Stiefel can't lose it, nor can he win it. And here is Hunter. And Hunter bounces one to the right side. Tigsy's got it. And look at Cruz. What a great stretch by Cruz, and he stays on the bag. Hunter can't believe it, and that's going to be out number 1. Out. They appeal. Out. 1 down. Here's Bob Riley. 1 for 2 with an RBI hit his last time up, and he takes the first pitch, letter high fastball, and he's down in the count. No balls, 1 strike against Dan Crace. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. 6-6 tie, the Phillies and the Cubs. The Cubs from Chicago, the Phillies from Dallas-Fort Worth. Bouncing ball, shortstop, and there is Reed Stiefel with the long throw across the diamond, 2 down. Robert Butlin has had a multitude of opportunities in the field. He has touched the ball 7 times. He has 2 putouts. He has 6 assists. But at the plate, he's 0 for 2. 6-6 tie, bottom of the 6th inning. He bunts, third base side, rolls foul, of course. Frank Phillips, the 5-time MSBL World Series championship manager who has not played, I don't believe, the last couple of years. And that is a called strike. My goodness. I think that ball was, that was so far inside, that thing was in Tolleson or Goodyear. The bad thing when an umpire makes a call like that, you instinctively expand your strike zone, and then that makes you very vulnerable. Battling against Crace, and he chops one slowly towards the third baseman, who's got it. And the throw on to first in time, a 1-2-3 inning for Crace. That'll retire the side. Looks like Kurt took over at third base as we head to the 7th championship game here in the 60 Central Division, Tempe Diablo Stadium. My name is Jeff Lowry. So glad you could join us here from the winter home of the Los Angeles Angels. Dan Crace is 2 for 2 at the plate in the 3rd inning of work for Mr. Figueroa. Richie Figueroa. He's had a little control problem. He's had control problems since he's come in. More command issues. Here's a chopping ball down to third. Fair ball. Neary, long throw across, and he gets his man. Fine defensive play on both ends, one down. Rich Gentile will bat for the first time. First pitch is low and away, ball one. Championship game, 60 and over, Central Division. Winner take all. Gentile against Figueroa, and the 1-0 pitch is looped to the second baseman, caught. That is the third put out to go along with 6 assists. He's touched the ball 9 times. And there's 2 down. Top of the order, Rick Wilson, a perfect 2 for 2 with a walk. And is ahead in the count at 2 balls and no strikes against Richie Figueroa. As the Cubs bat here in the top of the 7th inning, they had led 3-1, and then the Phillies got 5 unanswered, took a 6-3 lead, which that 3-run lead is the biggest lead of the game for either team. But then the Cubs scored 3 in the top of the 6th inning, and they bat here, and a swing and a foul by Wilson. And a 6-6 tie, top of the 6th inning. Check that, top of the 7th inning pitch. And that one nearly took off the head of Rick Wilson, and that's ball 4, his second straight walk. He has been on base all 4 times. And now Mike Teagues, who scored a run after reaching on a fielder's choice in the 3rd, but he's 0 for 3. I think he called that a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Runner at first base. We're in a tie ball game. Strike 2 called. Teagues has made a couple of nice plays at second base for the Chicago Maxx Cubs. With a runner at first, the 0-2 pitch with 2 out. And here it is, and it's way outside, 1-2. Just missed off the outside part of the plate. It looked like it was outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Teagues laying off that one. And the next delivery is lifted in the air, right field. Antone Henley will make a running catch. Fine defensive play by number 6 out in right field. And in the inning, no runs, 1 walk, 1 left on. And at the end of, well, it's the 7th inning stretch. And we are tied in this 60 and over Central Division Championship. Well, Frank Phillips and Lou Gordon exchanging some pleasantries as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. It'll be Jose Villalba to start things off in the 3rd inning of work for Dan Crace, who's really settled in this ball game. Came in relief of Alden Stiefel. His team has fought back, and we are tied at 6 in this winner-take-all national championship game. It'll be Villalba, Graham, and Hensley, the first 3 scheduled hitters. There's Bobby Graham on deck. Chopper down to 3rd and gobbled up there by Kurt. And he'll throw it across the infield, and the reliable Cruz at first base takes care of the putout. 1 down. Now Bobby Graham will stay with us at the conclusion of this game. We'll have post-game, we'll try to have a few post-game interviews. Probably talk to Lou Gordon at the end of this contest. Longtime general manager and good friend of APN Video Sports. In the air to right field, and it is going to be caught. Well, at first it was kind of misplayed out there, but a nice recovery for out number 2. And here's a shot right at the second baseman, and he'll make the catch. That'll retire the side, heading now to the top of the 8th. It's the MSBL World Series on APN. Richie Figueroa is back out there as he comes out for the 8th inning. 3rd inning of work for Richie. He'll be facing the heart of the Chicago Maxx Cubs lineup. Bruce Grossman, John White, Tom Berenger, and they have gotten the job done. Grossman is 2 for 2 with a walk. Whitehouse, 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, a run scored, and Berenger 1 for 3 RBI, run scored. 5 runs produced between those 3 guys. In a 6-6 tie, I think we might see Reed Stifle come to the plate, the starting shortstop for the Chicago Maxx Cubs. Jeff Lowry with you here in the top of the 8th inning. The Cubs and the Phillies locked in a 6-6 tie with Richie Figueroa on the mound for Dallas-Fort Worth, led by their manager Frank Phillips. Temperature 73 degrees. It's dropped 4 degrees since we started, and the wind is starting to pick up. And Grossman has walked against Figueroa for the 2nd consecutive at-bat. Now John Whitehouse, and he bunts. And that's a nice one. Thought about going to second and get the sure out at first base. Sacrifice goes 5-3, Neary to first, and here's Tom Berenger. Nope, it's going to be Reed Stifle. Reed batting for the first time here in the top of the 8th inning. The first pitch is low and away, ball 1. 6-6. Top of the 8th inning. Dallas-Fort Worth looking for their 6th title. Chicago looking for their first title in the Central at the 60 age group. They won the Cactus in both the 55 and the 60 last year. And Stifle hits a ground ball and a base hit into left field. That'll put him on first and third. "15 hits now for the Cubs. And here's the man who had the big 2-run double the last time up to tie, pull the Cubs to within 1, and Don Munson. 1 ball and no strikes. That's high, 2-0. First and third occupied with 1 out, and there they are. Boy, it's gotten dark here as this one is slapped to the right side and out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike on Don. He's 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run scored, and he lines a shot out into right center field, base hit. That will score the go-ahead run for Chicago, and they lead it 7-6. Munson with his 3rd RBI, his 2nd RBI at bat of the ball game. And Richie Figueroa is coming out with 1 out here in the 8th inning. He goes 3 innings and will give way to Catfish Hunter. Jeff Catfish Hunter is the new pitcher, the 3rd pitcher employed here today by Frank Phillips and the Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies. His first pitch is low to Neil Cooper. Cooper is looking for his first hit of the game. He's 0 for 3. So the Cubs lead at 7-6. On an RBI single by Don Munson, he has 3 RBIs. Ground ball, base hit in the right field. Here comes the runner around third. Antone gets it quickly back in to Butlin. Butlin's forward hop, throw to the plate, and what a job by the catcher, Donnie, to block off Reed Stifle and stop the score. And what a job, Antone Henley getting it in quickly to Butlin. And what a tag by Donnie behind the plate. 17 hits for the Cubs, but they get thwarted on that 9-4-2 out at the plate. And now the batter is going to be, the catcher, Sam DiTallo, batting for Kurt. Got an RBI hit his last time up. And quickly 3 balls and no strikes. What a fine relay. Henley, Butlin, this ball gets away. Here comes the runner home. Here's the throw, there'll be no throw. And that's too bad for Dallas-Fort Worth. as Alden Stiefel, the courtesy runner, scores, and the Cubs have a 2-run lead for the second time in this game. So now you got runners at first and third. Cubs led 3-1 after they scored 2 in the third. And that was their largest. And now the ball is thrown out into center field. Are you kidding me? It is now 9-6, and the Cubs continue to add on here in the 8th. They scored 3 in the 6th and 3 more here in the 8th inning. Fly ball left field off the bat of Tom Urey, and that's dropping in for a hit. Hit number 18, first and second. And the next batter is going to be Mike Schmadebeck, 0 for 3. Mike would love nothing more than to push across another run here. They scored, the Cubs, that is, 3 runs in the top of the 6th. They've scored 3 here in the 8th and now lead it 9-6. Schmadebeck, an outstanding eye at the plate. Generally a very patient hitter. Well, they brought Hunter in to kind of stop the bleeding, and it hasn't quite worked out that way as Figueroa goes 3. That's ball 4. That is the 3rd walk in the inning, and you can see the wind really whistling. We got gusts probably, I would say, somewhere around probably 18 miles an hour, maybe gusts. At least the gusts are up there. That's a pretty consistent 15-mile-per-hour wind. Dan Crace, 2 for 3 at the plate, has done very well on the mound. He has really slammed the door on these Phillies hitters since coming in back in the 6th inning. He takes a strike. Slap to the shortstop. Olmo will go to second and get the fielder's choice. That'll retire the side. But 3 big runs for the Maxx Cubs out of Chicago. They're feeling quite at home. 9-6 from Tempe Diablo. And coming from the Windy City, they're feeling quite at home here at Tempe Diablo. All right, now Antone Henley, of course, the general manager, Gold Glove winning outfielder for the South Bay Zephyrs, will dig in. And he's looking for his first hit. He takes a first pitch called strike. Now his team trails 9-6 in this winner-take-all 60 and over Central Division Championship. And here's a ball slapped down the first base. That's foul, 0-2. Dan Crace, he came in the 6th. And another ground ball down to Cruz, and Antone is going to be retired. 1 down. Angel Olmo, the leadoff hitter, drove in a run his last time up. He lines one to short, and Reed Stiefel takes care of business. 2 down. 2 quick outs. Dan Crace has now set down 9 in a row. He is in relief of Alden Stiefel, and he, if this lead holds up, would be the winning pitcher for the Chicago Maxx, formerly the Chicago North Cubs. Now Enrique, who had that long triple. He has scored twice. He's been hit by a pitch. This is his 4th time up in the ball game. So we're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Nobody on, 2 out. 9 in a row set down by Dan Crace. And the Cubs looking for their first championship in the Central Division at this age group with a 3-run lead of 9-6. And that is high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Check that, 3 balls and 1 strike, and it's outside, ball 4. So a 2-out walk breaks a 9 in a row by Dan Crace. And now Carmelo Bastion, who has singled twice. He has scored a run. He's driven in a run. He's 2 for 3. First pitch to the big, tall first baseman, and he takes high, ball one. Bottom of the 8th inning, Dallas-Fort Worth batting, trailing 9-6 against Dan Crace, who has been sensational since coming in. That one's high and tight, 2-0. Just got word that Trevor Bauer has become the first Cy Young Award winner, as that one is high and tight, 3-0 on Carmelo. Working on a 2-for-3 day. He is the first Cy Young in Cincinnati Reds history. Ball four. So back-to-back 2-out walks after Crace was just cruising, and now the always dangerous Richie Figueroa. First and second occupied, and Figueroa now represents the tying run, and he takes a strike. Richie's like, well, you didn't give me that strike when I was out there on the mound, but didn't like the call. Slightly open stance, righty versus righty, and the pitch is low, and it's 1-1. It's hard to believe, isn't it? I mean, the Reds have had a lot of MVPs down through the years, but they have never had a Cy Young. I don't know if they've ever had someone even finish second in Cy Young. Maybe Johnny Cueto. I would say Johnny Cueto, probably the only one. 3 balls and 1 strike. He has walked 2 in a row. And here's a chopping ball, Stifle backpedaling. He dropped the ball, and all hands are going to be safe. That puts a tying run aboard for the Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies, and the bases are loaded. That'll bring up Jeff Hunter, who takes ball 1. Wow, the first 2 retired with ease and in a pair of walks, and now an error by a guy that doesn't make a whole lot of errors. And a line drive out into left center field, base hit. 2 runs are going to score. It's going to be a 1-run game. Here's Figueroa to third. Stifle throws that way, not in time. Did he come off the bag? That's the question now. Frank Phillips is right there. And it's now a 9-8 ball game on the 2-run single by Jeff Hunter, his 3rd hit of the game. 9-8. Reed Stifle just wants to say, can you get a little help? Because the home plate umpire was in a better position to make the call. It's tough with a 2-man umpiring crew to do this, and he has just had enough of what Alden Stifle has to say. Alden is not happy. Let's check it again. Let's slow this down a little bit. I don't think his foot left the bag. If it's on the bag right there, it was on the bag when the tag was made. But I think Reed was trying to tell the umpires they got the runner picked off at first base, and Hunter's going to make second easily. And you know what? That's not a bad play. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to give up the run. So now Riley has been intentionally walked. The bases are loaded. Phillies trailing by 1, and they're going to send to the plate Don Collie, who is batting for Robert Butlin. So Collie is up there. Bases loaded. Phillies trailing by a score of 9-8. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Collie with the tying run at third, the go-ahead run at second base in this winner-take-all 60-and-over Central Division Championship of the 33rd Annual MSBL. Here's a shot out in the right center field. That ball's going to find the gap, and 3 runs are going to score. Don Collie comes off the bench. He cleans the bases. It's 11-9 Phillies here in the bottom of the 8th inning on a pinch 3-run double by Don Collie. This inning started so easily. And we got a new pitcher, and it's going to be Kurt Brooks. third pitcher used by Alden Stiefel and Jimmy Kuhn. First pitch inside, ball one to Jose Villalba. So Brooks is in. I mean, Dan Crace had set down 9 in a row, and then he walks 2. You have the Stiefel error, unfortunately. 2-run single by Hunter, the intentional walk, and then Don Collie, as this one is lifted in the air, left center field, and that's going to drop in for a hit, and another run is going to score. Collie's courtesy runner, and it's now 12-9. So Ron Eiderstein, the courtesy runner at second base, scoring on Villalba's first hit of the ball game. It's an RBI hit. And now Bobby Graham, who is 0 for 2, he's been hit by a pitch, and he has scored a run. And the runner will take second base, and he is going to be in safe sliding. Jose Villalba. So it's now 12-9. Is that right? Hold on a minute. Yep. And now the runner caught between second and third, and the side is retired. But a huge inning for the Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies. They erase a 9-6 lead by the Cubs and now lead it by a score of 12-9. Jeff Lowry coming to you. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Last hope here for the Cubs. Corvus will start things off, and the first pitch is a called strike, 0-1. Corvus batted a couple of innings ago and hit a hard-hit single to center field. So now Jim Hunter has a chance to be the championship-winning pitcher in this game if he can hold on to a 12-9 lead. But what this game has brought so far, you can't count on anything. It has been back and forth. It has been a tremendous game, no doubt about it. So Bob Corvus will lead things off. Well, the Cubs have left 12 men on base. Phillips will go retrieve that wild pitch. So Jeff Catfish Hunter, ball 4. And the last thing he wanted to do was walk the leadoff hitter, resting on a 3-run lead in this championship winner-take-all game. Now Rick Wilson, who has been on base all 4 times. He takes high, ball 1. Well, these two teams playing their 8th game in 7 days. It's a lot of ball games, especially when you're 60 and over. It is amazing to me, as this one's fouled out of play, it is amazing to me that you guys and the ones that are watching, that's swung on and missed. Wilson goes down, and there's 1 away. Here in the top of the 9th inning, the Cubs trailing 12-9. Championship game, winner take all. Fastball strike to Teagsy, 0-1. He's 0 for 4. The level of play that we are seeing, yes, you can say, well, Jeff, gosh, there's been like a combined, I don't count errors, 5 or 6. Yeah, we've had silly plays out there. I'm talking about the overall plays. This one's bounced to the right side. Look at Butlin in the hole. He throws to first, and he got it for out number 2. And how important was that out right there? Robert Butlin continues to be impressive. I think that is like that's like the 11th time he has either gotten a put out or an assist. So it all comes down to Bruce Grossman. He has walked his last 2 times after singling in the first and the third. He's 2 for 2, 2 walks, 1 run, 2 balls and no strikes. Hunter trying to throw that one right through his backstop. Here in the top of the 9th inning, Cubs down to their final out. They got a runner at second base. If they can get the next guy up, that would be the tying run. That's a strike, and it's 2-1 on Brucey. Grossman, one of the premier hitters in this 60 and over Central Division Championship. 2-1 pitch, and it's outside, and it's 3-1. He has been extremely patient at the plate here in this game, but the championship is on the line, top of the ninth, and the pitch is in there, full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, with a runner at second and the championship on the line. Here's the pitch, and a line drive, base hit out into right center field. The runner will come around third and score, and Bruce Grossman has allowed the Cubs to bring the tying run to the plate. His 3rd hit of the day. He's 3 for 3. And the score, the deficit cut to 2. It's 12-10. Bouncing ball to the third baseman. Neary's got it. He throws to first. And the 2020 national champion, 60 and over Central Division, is Frank Phillips and his Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies. They do it in impressive fashion. They do it in come-from-behind fashion. And they win it by a final score of 12-10. What a moment for the Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies. It is their 6th all-time championship in club history. The winning pitcher is Jeff Catfish Hunter. In relief of Figueroa, Martin Campbell started it. And what about the big 3-run double, the game winner by Colley? Let's go down and let's talk to a couple of the Philly players, as the Dallas-Fort Worth Phillies are 2020 60 Central National Champions. And their MVP is Ayala, Enrique Ayala.
Well, it was probably one of the most exciting games that we've ever had to do. They fought hard the whole way through, and I made a couple of lucky moves, and here we are. So what we had was they had just walked our number 5 hitter and loaded the bases up. I decided I was going to go. I had a guy much like Kirk Gibson on the bench sitting there, right-hander. They had a right-handed pitcher, and we decided to bring him in. It worked out well for us. He hit a double in the gap, clearing the bases, giving us a 1-run lead. Then we did a couple other kind of not very mature things on the bases, but we still scored another run. Came back to be well worth the effort.
I was looking around the dugout, and I wasn't sure if he really called Colley. Okay, all right, it's time to go. But hey, we had a lot of preparation, a lot of wiffle ball swings out in the field today. We're working on that, preparing for such a time if it could come up, and fortunately it did, and we got lucky. You know, they're good hitting, good pitching, good defending team, and just happened to get a pitch and hit it where they weren't playing, so it went through and it worked out. So, you know, a lot of times those things don't. So we're just on the right end of it today, and I got to, you know, give a lot of tribute to that team. They have a really nice defense, really good pitching. They can really hit up and down all throughout the order. So it was just a real honor to play against them today, and it was just an honor to play with my teammates today. So it was just went our way today. So I got to just be very thankful for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, Lou Gordon joins us now, the 10th inning show here, the Chicago Maxx Cubs coming up short-handed. You make it to the finals, both in the 55 and the 60, and I mean, all in all, a very successful tournament, but you had the team to win it. Didn't quite happen this year.
Well, Jeff, you're absolutely right. Last week and this week, the boys played their hearts out. Just a wonderful group of guys that Alden and Reed and Jimmy Kuhn put together. I just love these guys, and we're keeping our tradition alive. Keep good Cub baseball. What can I tell you? It was disappointing to lose to the Phillies today. They're a great ball club, and our hats are off to them. Hey. Ball bounces one way, another way, whatever, we'd be wearing that ring right now. So, Jeff, as you know, that's baseball.
You know, you go back to that inning in which you guys give up 6 runs. You had 2 outs, nobody on.
Yeah.
And Trace was cruising.
Yes, he was.
And then all of a sudden, a couple of balls started tailing in on the right-handed hitter, and he lost the touch.
Yes.
And then it fell apart.
Well, I don't know what to say to that. You're exactly right. You know, the Phillies fought back. You know, we had them, and Danny was cruising right along. Alden, I thought, pitched fabulously at the beginning of the ball game. He's a gamer. And so is Danny Crace. Danny Crace had an incredible week this week. Alden did, of course, as well. But yes, that turned the tide of the ball game. But hey, we didn't give up. We came back with several more runs to make it a close ball game, and that was supposed to be their ace, 2 aces that we were playing against. Good, not taking anything away from their talent. Good pitchers, but we didn't back down. We fought to the very, very end, and I couldn't be prouder of our guys.
You know, one guy I think you got to give a lot of credit to. He got you into the finals with a complete game victory.
Yes.
In the semifinals, Gary Cruz.
Yes.
And his play at first base was instrumental here today.
Very, very, very much so. Yeah, I can't say enough about Gary Cruz. He's been one of our top guys for the last 10 years. And that complete game victory yesterday by him, putting us into the championship game, I can't say enough about the heart and soul of Gary Cruz. And first base, oh my goodness, there's no one better. No one better out there, except maybe my best friend Neil Robin. You remember Rockin' Robin, but Gary Cruz is just the real deal.
Well, so you end this 60 Central with a 12-10 loss. Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, you know, already I'm looking forward to next year. As you know, I live down here now, and I miss the boys of summer back home. So I get my baseball fix in these 3 weeks, and looking forward to it. And I know Alden and Jimmy and Reed are going to bring back these guys and maybe plug another player or 2 in to even get us even better. And as I tell you every year, Jeff, this is the best team that we've ever had down here. Yeah. And I know it's a cliche, but I'm really honest when I say that. The talent on this ball club, fabulous. So it is what it is. Once again, my hats are off to the Phillies and Frank and his boys. They did a great job. Kudos to them, and I'm already looking forward to next year.